We're continuing our study of proportions and applying them now to conversions. We're going to work today just with the customary system, which is the system that we use here in the United States. And then tomorrow we will look at the metric system. It is required that you use proportions to complete these conversions. So we'll be showing our work the same way that we have been over the last week and a half. So you will use the math chart that you have available to you. I've given you a copy of it, as well as I will have some extras in the room if that you ever don't have yours with you. We are going to be looking only at the customary side today, so we'll be using all of this side of our chart. And you'll see that it's divided into different types of measurement. Length is the first black band, followed by volume and capacity, and then weight and mass. So you'll want to make sure that you're using just this customary side. Tomorrow we'll use the other side of the chart. Let's look at our first problem. We need to convert 3 quarts to cups. So just like always, I am going to set up my paper so that I have my skeleton of a proportion, and then I'm going to have some doodle work off to the side. Due to my having the image of the math chart on this page, I'm a little stuck for space. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to set up my doodle work a little bit higher on my page. You need to set yours up the way that you normally do. Now, from here, I know that I'm comparing quarts and cups because it tells me right here. And I can use the official abbreviation for these 2 measurements. I'm perfectly fine with that. Quarts and cups happen to be volume and capacity. So I know I'm going to look right here at this part of my chart. I want to fill in my given ratio. And my given ratio is always going to come from my math chart. So I'm looking for quarts and cups. And when I look here, I notice that I have quarts with pints, but not quarts with cups. So this is how the math chart works, which I always have kids that have used this to help them. We know we need to go from quarts to cups. So I need to take this and figure out how many cups would be in a quart. All I have to do is multiply up. I have 2 quarts, 2 pints, 2 times 2 equals 4. So I know then that 1 quart equals 4 cups. And that's what I'm going to fill in on my math chart. 1 cup is 4 quarts. I'm sorry, in my proportion. Now my problem tells me I'm solving for 3 quarts. So I'm going to put a 3 here, and here's my x. Now, again, remember, I'm stuck for space a little bit, so I'm going to try to write over here kind of small so that hopefully I can get everything on the page for you. Now, I'm going to do just like what I have been. I'm going to cross multiply and divide. So 1x is going to equal 4 times 3. So 1x is going to equal 12. And then I'm going to go ahead and show my division. X would equal 12. So we would have 12 cups in 3 quarts. Let's look at another one. This one's a little more straightforward. Here we're going to convert pounds to ounces. So when I look on my chart here, I know that pounds and ounces, that has to do with weight. So I'm going to look right here this time. Let me set up the outline of my proportion. And it's pounds, which is LB, to ounces, which is OZ. And then you'll see here that I have pounds and ounces on the same line. That makes it extra easy. So 1 pound is 16 ounces, so I'm going to fill that in. 1 pound is 16 ounces, and I'm converting for 4 pounds. Here's 4, and here's my x. Again, my doodle work will be higher just because of the fact that I'm a little bit stuck for space. Now I'm going to cross multiply and divide. 1x equals 4 times 16. So in my doodle work, I would work out 16 times 4. So then 1x equals 64. Divide by 1. X equals 64. So there are 64 ounces in 4 pounds. This is all the work you're doing today. You will be turning in your work on paper. Your assignment is on formative. Make sure you show all of the steps. Some of them you may not need doodle work for, like the first problem that we did. But I still want to see where you have everything set up and are following that procedure.